power, prosperity. Ra, mother effing black storm. I send you joy, peace, and love. I am your esoteric, spiritual, mystical, and occult guide to help you in your spiritual, personal development. Today, as I'm recording this, it is like 32 degrees out here, so this ain't gonna be a long video. But I did want to drop this and get this out to you guys while it was on my mind. And what I want to say to y'all is, it is a time for your heart chakra to be open, right? This year is a time where your heart chakra has to be open. And what do I mean by your heart chakra being open? I mean, it's a time that you connect and reconnect with your inner child. Excuse me. I was in a meditation last couple of days. Wasn't tonight, and it wasn't last night, but I was in a meditation, and my inner child came up to me. For real, just out of nowhere in the meditation. Now, as a teenager, I was making money, right? I got a picture on my Instagram, right? It's the only picture I have of me as a teenager. This is pre-cell phone era, you know? The God is ancient at this point. But as picture, right, I have, but this nigga came up to me, right? Came up to me, gave me a hug in my meditation, and wanted to talk. I'm not going to share the details of the conversation, but I will say that he showed me some things that I was still holding on to from the 16-year-old me, the one that was selling dope, the one that had low self-esteem, the one that was lost, the one that was doing robberies, right? The money, clothes, and holes was my mantra. That was my affirmation. That guy, right? That guy. And he came up to me and he told me some things. What I want to say to you is, some of you are weird, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. Some of you are weird. Some of you are odd. Some of you are different. You have little quirks. You're not the mainstream, right? You're watching somebody like me, or you're delving into this type of spirituality. You're not a mainstream type of person. You do things off the beaten path. And one of the things, you know, when we are like that, we often get criticized. We often get talked down on. We often get hated on. I don't know how many times dudes have tried to dirty mac me behind my back because they felt like I was too weird and odd and too spiritual to have a beautiful woman by my side, right? It's part of the game, though, you know? It's part of the game. You get used to it after a while. But I say all that to say, you might be a woman, you might have, you know, jealous friends or whatever of you being who you are. Because the thing is, when you are who you are and you're bold and firm in it, people really respect it, right? They really respect it, but people fear what they don't understand. They fear what they don't understand. Like Nas said, and hate what they can't conquer, because that's just the theory of man. But as we step into godhood, in these days and times, more of our unique gifts and talents have to start coming to the table. We have to start displaying them. So for instance, if you are a person that is supposed to be fighting the system, right? You need to be frontline with that shit. You went to politics or whatever, you need to be frontline with that, right? If you are a spiritual being and you're supposed to be teaching people spirituality, magic, right? Mysticism, you're supposed to be frontline with it. If you're supposed to be creating art, right? Digital, visual, with stencil, with clay, whatever. If you're supposed to be making socks, right? Like how Yeezy got the Yeezy socks. You got these shoes that look like socks. If you're supposed to be doing that, or something similar, I'm using that as an example, right? Something innovative. You're supposed to be doing that, right? And one of the blocks you probably have is you being teased as a child. You being ridiculed by your peers. You being ridiculed by your parents who couldn't understand or didn't understand you. You being told that you were a certain person and you should be a certain person. You know, sometimes we have parents that mean us well, but they want us to do what they want us to do. And they don't see the light that we have. And they don't really know how to direct their lighthouse. And they're living in fear, right? So they just want us to shine the way that they think is best and most safe, right? If it's your time to be an entrepreneur, it's your time to be an entrepreneur. Right? We need people with businesses, spiritual people with businesses, spiritual people that run banks, spiritual people that create the next type of Uber, spiritual people that have, you know, cryptocurrency, spiritual people that create homeless shelters, spiritual people that create, you know, power plants and alternate sources of energy, right? We know that there's, well, you may not know, but there have been people that have built alternate sources of energy, right? Where they're running electricity based on water, and they always get destroyed. But those times are coming to an end. We're in the age of Aquarius, where the individual talents stand out amongst the whole, right? The individual talents shine, and those with their individual talents that shine will align with those that also have their individual talents. It's like, you know, the Avengers, where you got Captain America, you got Thor, you got the Hulk, Black Widow. They're not all the same superhero. They don't all have the same backstory, but they're producing the same results, and that's being a superhero, right? First and foremost, developing their own talents, their own superpowers, right? Protecting those that are closest to them, the team, right? And then protecting or helping the world move ahead. So I want to encourage you to embrace your uniqueness. Embrace your weirdness. Go back to the place where you was a child, right? Where you were a child, you know, just a innocent little boy or innocent little girl. Go back to those places and communicate. Ask yourself questions. Now, you could do this with your conscious waking mind, right? But you might be thinking of the bills. You might be thinking of what you're going to do with the kids. You might be thinking about parking. You might be thinking about work, right? Whatever. But do this in meditation, right? I'm always going to preach meditation. Always. It's the most powerful thing in the world that people neglect. Niggas would rather get a million altars and 25 crystals than sit still and breathe in that good-ass prana, baby. All right? Go in meditation. Ask to your inner child to visit you. He will. Maybe not this first time, maybe not the second time, but eventually you keep knocking and that door will open. And you'll be surprised what your inner child will tell you about you. You at your big age, what you're still carrying, right? And some of the things that you're still carrying, you need to face. This is not the year for the comfort zone, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, niggas and niggas. crackers and crackheads. This is not the age of, you being comfortable. You got to step out of your comfort zone.
You got to be you until being you hinders you from being who you want to be. You got to be you until being you hinders you from being who you want to be.
Right now it's like 30 degrees here. I'm sitting here shooting a video for y'all. Today, I'm shooting this on the 15th of January 2024. It's supposed to be the end of a Kali Yuga, right? It's supposed to be a day where if you plant your dreams in your subconscious through meditation, or even just through your daydreams, right? Your visions of yourself and what you want to manifest and your success and the habits you want to overcome, visions for your family and your close ones and your loved ones and your tribe, and visions of what you want to do for the world, right? I've already completed mine. I've been meditating every day since the winter solstice anyway. So I've been charged up, right? I've been super charged up. No porn, no cigarettes, no weed, right? Just meditation, books, gym, right? Study, and handling my other responsibilities as a man and as a father. And I feel fucking good, you know what I'm saying? And I am proud of me, for real. And this is a process that I am going to continue, because this is the year you got to embrace the divine in you. Now, maybe meditation's not your thing. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe yoga's not your thing, right? Maybe it's, I don't know, hot, Wim Hof breathing. Maybe it's some fire breathing, Dumo breathing, right? Some sort of breath work, right? But you got to get into some sort of breath work this year so you can connect with spirit. You're not going to be able to do it just with a selenite wand and with some sage and cleansing yourself, right? You're not going to be able to do it by just watching YouTube videos. You're not going to be able to do it by being the same person that you were in 2023. It's time that you jump off the porch. It's time that you take off. You know, when a bird is ready to get out the nest, right? The mother kicks the bird, and the bird either flies or the bird dies. The baby bird either flies or the bird dies.
This video, this mother bird was in this nest with her 3 baby birds, and you won't believe what she decided to do to one of her babies. Keep in mind that this nest is in a tree, and the mother bird can be seen picking up one of her babies and bringing it to the edge of the nest. The mother bird ends up taking the baby's life away by dropping it out of the nest.
You gotta get yourself out of your comfort zone and get yourself out of that nest and develop the spiritual skill, the unique spiritual skill that you have, the unique spiritual gift that you have to give to the world, the unique spiritual talent that you have within yourself. You have to mine that gold from within. I've given you several tips. You can journal, right? Again, meditation, taking spirit baths, right? Of course, consuming content, reading, studying, right? But this is not an intellectual exercise either, You got to do something that really connects with your soul. And that's going to take something that involves some breath work, something. Qigong, right? Again, yoga, right? Shit, catching a runner's high, tapping in that way. Something. Dancing.
Just like the yogis in East Asia, they sit down and meditate. We dance. Do you understand? We don't sit down to meditate. We dance. That's how we leave our body. We chesa rojo. We play the spirit. We work it out.
What does that mean?
Chesa rojo literally means to play the spirit.
Okay.
Or to play the heart. Right? And when you understand the spiritual law, the heart is the beginning of the spirit. Right? So it means exactly the same thing. Chesa rojo. So when you see us in the motherland, anyway, name a country, name a place where black people exist, they will have their Chesa rojo expression. Right? It's got different names. Do it. And just watch that person carefully. They're gone. They're going to a trance state and realizing their meditation. You see?
Yeah.
And after that, the way they conduct themselves in society, the way they move and what they express as from that meditation, because meditation is where you go to download, right? From that, you get the African societies that were created, which is known as Ma'at, interdependence, oneness, love, the expression and experience of love, giving, seeking nothing in return. These are fundamental principles to Africans, and it comes from these very sacred practices, which again, we've now had to channel through.
So you dance yourself into a trance, right? Something that's going to allow you to engage with your higher self that doesn't deal with the external, but cultivates the internal. Because the internal, your subconscious, is where the gifts are. You got to mine those jewels through the chakra work. And the only way you can mine those jewels through the chakra work is to tap into that wood dragon, which is what this year of. You being the wood and that dragon fire being your breath.
It shouldn't take suffering to lead us to the point of being ready to confront things by meditating. But part of it is that if you are not aware of what ails you, if the response that you have is, I will never try something new, fuck you, stop talking to me about it, that's for hippies, there may come a time in your life when you bump up against something or someone that says, the way you are doesn't work for me.
Right? And you want to unlock this third chakra. You want to unlock the ajna, the third eye chakra. You want to unlock this crown chakra so you can get these universal downloads. So today, again, it's supposed to be some ending of the Kali Yuga. I didn't research it. Basically just regurgitating some shit I saw on the internet. But I know this. There's a lot of people that are doing the meditations, have done the meditations today. And if, what does the Bible say? If two or more are gathered in my name, right? Then so it is. Something like that, right? So if a lot of people believe something is a reality, then guess what? It's a reality. It's an agreement. So a lot of people across the world believe that today there's the end of an age and the beginning of a new age. We got wars in the Sudan. We got wars in the Congo. We got wars in Gaza. We got wars in Haiti, right? We got uprising in Venezuela, not to mention the hood wars that we got here, right? In the ghettos of America, okay? So there's a lot of work that we need to do. We got to put a lot of stuff in the air, all right? We got to put a lot of stuff in these clouds. We got to see the same way y'all say they see in these clouds, which chemtrails, which they are. We got to start creating our own chemtrails. We can't keep talking about what they're doing and how they're oppressing us and how they're holding us back and, how they're trying to shut this down and how they're trying to shut that down, right? We still have these platforms. We still have these opportunities to express ourselves. And even if we don't have these platforms, we got our two hands to create and our 2 feet to move and brains to communicate thoughts and channel ideas from source, right? And make things happen. So whatever your mission is, whatever you're passionate about, tap into that inner child and find that again. And ask him for the plans, for the blueprints to help you manifest that. All right, my hand's about to freeze. I love y'all. Tap into the membership. Videos coming soon, I promise. Membership only videos. There's some things I'm just not going to talk about on on YouTube, because it takes me a lot of work to gather, my information. Amazon books aren't cheap. Library books aren't cheap. Reading takes a lot of time. Funneling some of this information takes a lot of time. And I do appreciate y'all's support just by hitting the like button, just by sharing and just by subscribing. But there's some things that we got to put behind a paywall. So videos coming soon. I'll probably go live later today, right? But if not, I'll go live most likely tomorrow. But if not, I'll see y'all soon, all right? My finger's about to fall off. All right, let me head into this gym. Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstone. Take care. Peace, y'all. I just want to say, don't let anybody impose their limits or their viewpoint on what your life should be for you. That's your life, not anybody else's life. When you go to the grave, there's only going to be you in there, no one else. So live your life. And if you are struggling, if you are in survival mode, right? Create. Get creative. Because people like to find people in these vulnerable positions, and they like to project their limitations on you. They like to tell you what you can do, but they don't have the same vision that you have for your life. So follow your vision, create, and get straight. Peace.
I think that is an answer to that myth, and it is that time is neutral. It can be used either constructively or destructively. And I'm absolutely convinced that the forces of ill will in our nation, the extreme righteous in our nation, have often used time much more effectively than the forces of goodwill. And it may well be that we will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the vitriolic words of the bad people and the violent actions of the bad people, but for the appalling silence and indifference of the good people who sit around and say, wait on time. Somewhere we must come to see that social progress never rolls in on the wheels of inevitability. It comes through the tireless efforts and the persistent work of dedicated individuals, and without this hard work, time itself becomes an ally of the primitive forces of social stagnation. And so we must help time, and we must realize that the time is always right to do right.